Carlos Alcaraz arrived in Turin with a singular mission: to end the season in commanding fashion and leave no doubts about his status as the world's best player. The energy surrounding the ATP Finals had reached a fever pitch, as tennis fans from around the globe anticipated a final showdown that promised to crown not only a champion of the tournament, but a symbolic ruler of the 2025 season. Every movement of Alcaraz on the indoor courts radiated confidence, power, and precision. A slight smile occasionally crossed his face, betraying a quiet awareness of the stakes, as if he already sensed the moment his journey would culminate in glory. The quarterfinal match against Felix Auger-Aliassime promised intensity, but the Spaniard wasted no time asserting dominance. The Canadian, renowned for his mastery of indoor courts, approached the match with a reputation built on controlled aggression and tactical finesse. 7 of his 8 career titles had come under similar conditions, making him a formidable opponent. Yet Alcaraz, having just secured the year-end world #1 ranking, moved through the court with a fluidity and anticipation that seemed almost otherworldly. The first set began with both players exchanging measured serves and probing rallies, testing reactions and strategies. By the fourth game, Alcaraz found the opening he needed. A dazzling hooked volley broke Auger-Aliassime's serve, setting the tone for the rest of the encounter. Tennis audiences watching live sensed the shift in momentum instantly. The Spaniard style on indoor courts had often been described as explosive, yet controlled. Every forehand struck with precision, every footwork adjustment executed with balletic grace, creating an illusion of ease. The first set was sealed with another break of serve, cementing a 6-2 lead. Observers noted that Alcaraz did not even need to unleash his most spectacular shots. His strategic acumen, mental composure, and mastery of timing carried him through effortlessly. Auger-Aliassime attempted to respond with his trademark sharp angles and penetrating baseline attacks, but each effort met an almost preternatural counter, as if Alcaraz had already envisioned every possible move. The second set continued in a similar vein, with the Spaniard maintaining control while projecting the aura of inevitability that often defines true champions. Although the scoreline read 6-4, the drama was not in doubt. It was in the manner of execution, the efficiency, and the subtle display of mental strength. Every fan in Turin or glued to broadcasts around the world recognized that Alcaraz had elevated his game to a level that demanded respect. The indoor specialist's defenses crumbled, not through lack of effort, but because Alcaraz's court coverage, shot selection, and timing were nearly flawless. By the time the final point concluded, the Spaniard had not only dispatched his opponent, but done so in a way that seemed almost effortless. Victory against Auger-Aliassime did not merely secure a place in the final. It set the stage for the most anticipated clash of the season. Jannik Sinner, who had just overcome Alex de Minaur's 7-5, 6-2, waited on the other side, the embodiment of Italy's emerging tennis dominance. Sinner had made history earlier in the year by becoming the first Italian to win Wimbledon, defeating Alcaraz along the way. The match had been a display of unrelenting power and precision, a final filled with tension, momentum swings, and moments that would be replayed endlessly in highlight reels. Fans knew that Sunday's final in Turin would carry echoes of that grass-court drama, while adding new layers of narrative. A rematch between the two greatest stars of 2025, a showdown for the prestigious season-ending crown, and a battle for pride after Alcaraz narrowly overtook Sinner in the year-end rankings. Their rivalry this season had been nothing short of breathtaking. Alcaraz led Sinner 10-5 in head-to-head encounters, dominating 4 of the 5 meetings that occurred in the finals of top-tier tournaments. The Spaniard's victories included the most prestigious stages, triumphing in both the US Open and Roland Garros finals. The French Open victory, in particular, had resonated deeply, featuring a heroic comeback from 2 sets down and the saving of 3 match points. The narrative of perseverance and mental fortitude continued to define Alcaraz as more than a prodigy. He had emerged as a fully realized champion capable of rewriting the history of modern tennis. Sinner's rise, however, was equally remarkable. Wimbledon had become his stage, and his victory there had altered the dynamics of their season-long rivalry. That one was a statement that the young Italian possessed not only skill, but the courage to challenge the sport's elite on the biggest stages. Their shared dominance of the 4 Grand Slams this year meant that the narrative for Turin's final extended far beyond a simple title match. Every point carried the weight of history. Every rally represented months of preparation and previous encounters, and every glance across the net promised fireworks. Fans and analysts alike acknowledged the additional spice brought by the rankings. Alcaraz had accumulated 8 tournament victories this season and reached 3 more finals, just edging Sinner to the world #1 spot. That context elevated the stakes in Turin beyond a single trophy. The ATP Finals title would crown not only a champion of the tournament, but a symbolic ruler of the season, cementing legacies while shaping the psychological landscape for the coming year. Every swing of the racket, every measured serve, and every tactical decision mattered exponentially more in this final, and the players understood it. Throughout the match against Auger-Aliassime, Alcaraz displayed a rare combination of composure and aggression. Breaking serve in the fourth game of the first set was emblematic of his ability to seize critical moments, a skill refined over countless battles on the tour. Each volley, each drop shot, and each deep, penetrating baseline strike demonstrated his understanding of both his opponent's weaknesses and his own strengths. The efficiency with which he navigated the match allowed him to conserve energy for the ultimate challenge, facing Sinner in a battle for the title. Spectators could not help but notice the interplay between confidence and relaxation in Alcaraz's demeanor. While some players peak under tension, his calm body language and fluid movements suggested preparation at the highest level. Even without performing his most spectacular tennis, he dominated the match through precise placement, court intelligence, and anticipation. Auger-Aliassime, accustomed to indoor surfaces, could not impose his usual rhythm or create openings. Alcaraz dictated tempo, choosing moments to attack with a painter's sense of timing, effectively orchestrating each point. The victory carried symbolism as well. Alcaraz's path to the final mirrored the broader narrative of his 2025 season. Consistent excellence, the ability to conquer formidable opponents, and the mental fortitude to handle pressure in critical moments. He did not simply win, he sent a message. Tennis enthusiasts understood that beating Auger-Aliassime so decisively in Turin demonstrated readiness for the ultimate showdown with Sinner. The world's eyes turned toward the final, anticipating a match that promised not only technical brilliance, but high-stakes drama and unforgettable moments. Sinner's semifinal against Alex de Minaur reflected equal intensity. The Italian displayed the same unwavering focus that had propelled him to Wimbledon glory. Every point he played showcased aggressive baseline power, pinpoint accuracy, and an unflinching desire to seize opportunities. His victory, marked by a 7-5, 6-2 scoreline, confirmed that he would not be a passive opponent in the final. Both players, having already demonstrated their capacity to dominate and endure, were preparing to create a spectacle that fans had imagined for months. The final between Alcaraz and Sinner promised to be more than a mere title match. It embodied the culmination of a season-long rivalry, the rivalry of two stars who had shared the 4 Grand Slam finals, and a struggle for supremacy in a year where every tournament and point mattered. Alcaraz's slight edge in head-to-head results added tension, but Sinner's resilience, history-making Wimbledon victory, and determination to reclaim dominance ensured that no moment would be predictable. The final was a stage where mental toughness, strategic mastery, and raw athleticism would all collide. That Alcaraz's performances this season reflected more than physical talent. Tactical intelligence, patience under pressure, and the ability to read opponents had become his hallmark. Matches such as the Roland Garros final illustrated the blend of courage and calculated risk-taking that made him a dangerous competitor. Similarly, the U.S. Open victory highlighted his capacity to manage energy, emotions, and tactical adjustments simultaneously. The ATP Finals provided another arena to demonstrate these skills while adding new drama and narrative tension for fans watching around the world. The anticipation for Sunday's final was palpable. Every fan understood the stakes, and every player carried the psychological weight of the year behind them. Alcaraz and Sinner had rewritten expectations, elevated the level of modern men's tennis, and created a season-long story that would be remembered for decades. Each swing, volley, and serve in Turin would carry echoes of their previous encounters, blending past victories, defeats, and moments of brilliance into a narrative that demanded attention. Preparation and mindset became as important as skill in the lead-up to the final. Alcaraz approached each practice session with deliberate focus, analyzing patterns, anticipating weaknesses, and refining every aspect of his game. Every shot, movement, and adjustment reflected a commitment to excellence. The awareness of Sinner's capabilities demanded constant vigilance, yet Alcaraz approached it with confidence born from experience, previous victories, and a deep understanding of his own potential. The stage was set for a final that promised excitement, unpredictability, and drama. Alcaraz had already secured his place in tennis history as year-end world #1, yet he approached the upcoming match as a fresh opportunity to prove his dominance. Sinner, equally aware of the stakes, entered the arena with determination to challenge his rival and rewrite the story of their rivalry. The The final would not merely determine a champion of the ATP Finals. It would define the closing chapter of a spectacular season and shape narratives heading into 2026. Tennis fans around the world prepared for a spectacle. Every point would carry meaning. Every rally would test limits. Every movement on court would reveal both players' character, stamina, and mental acuity. The Alcaraz-Sinner final promised drama, brilliance, and tension that would captivate audiences from the first serve to the last, creating a story worthy of the season's grandeur.